Hi, I'm Gary, the Traveling Yogi. Thanks for joining me today. What a gorgeous fall day it is. If you can believe it, it's November 2nd, and it's just beautiful out here. I'm so enjoying this and so happy to be able to continue practicing outdoors. Well, let's begin our practice. Let your eyes close down. Just take a couple of breaths. Bring your attention now to the breath and feel it as it flows in, and then feel it flow out. Another couple of times, breathing in and breathing out. Perhaps one more time, breathing in and breathing out. Now draw a deep breath in, let your spine lengthen as you breathe in. Now lift your shoulders up towards your ears, and then bring the shoulders back and let them soften down so they come a little bit closer together on the back. Do that again on an inhale. Hug the shoulders up towards the ears. Now bring the shoulders back so the shoulder blades come together, and then release the shoulders down. Bring the arms out to a T now. Take a twist to your left. Right hand down behind you, look over your left shoulder, draw a deep breath in, draw your navel towards your spine, then exhale and release. Come back to center, reach the arms high, interlace your fingers, invert the palms, and stretch the palms up towards the sky. Press down on the sitting bones, draw the navel in. Now, I forgot to tell you, we're at Wash Park again today. And you may see behind me, keep reaching up through the palms, stretching up towards the sky. A lot of geese just foraging on the grass. Release the arms now, bring them out to a T, and take a twist to the right, bringing your left hand to your right knee. Bring the right hand down behind you. Keep the spine long as you draw a deep breath in. And as you exhale, twist and look over the right shoulder, looking for the geese if you can. And let it go. Bring it back to center. Reach the arms high again and interlace the fingers, and then bring the palms to the back of the head. Reach your elbows apart from one another. Keep your spine nice and long, particularly on an inhale. Now drop your right elbow down slowly and lift the left elbow up. Begin to feel a stretch on the left side of the body. Stay grounded in that left sitting bone. And then inhale, slowly rise. Keep the core engaged as you come up. And then drop your left elbow down, reach the right elbow high. Feel the stretch on the right side body. Stay grounded in the right sitting bone. On an inhale, slowly come back up. Then release the hands, reach them high, and then bring the palms down to the knees. Breathe in deeply, straighten your elbows if you can. Chest is rising. Keep your chin level. Now bring your chin to your chest and draw your navel in. Bring the forehead down towards the mat, and the elbows can bend. I'm feeling this stretch in the low back. And on an inhale, keep the chin buried into the chest as you rise. Keep drawing the navel in. Then once you're all the way up, level the chin. Good. Now bring the hands behind you. Press the palms into the mat. Fingers pointing towards the back of the mat. Bring the elbows a little bit closer together, opening the heart space. On an inhale, lift your chin high. Press the palms into the mat. And breathe. One more breath. Now slowly begin to level the chin, taking the weight off of the hands. Then let your arms float up and overhead. Then as you exhale, bring your hands to heart center and press your palms together. On an inhale, bring the arms out to a T. Take a twist to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand down behind you. We're going to twist and look over the right shoulder. Remember to keep the spine long. Keep pressing the sitting bones down. Don't strain in the twist. Just a very gentle twist to your right side. One more breath. And let it go. Bring the arms up and overhead. Palms together. Interlace the fingers. Invert the palms. Stretch the palms up towards the sky. Stretch up nice and high. Really reach. Now take a little bend to the right. And then a little bend to the left. And then back to center. Reach up high through the palms and then release the arms. Out to a T. Let's take a twist to the left. Right hand to left knee. The left hand comes down behind you. Breathe in deeply and let your spine get long as you breathe in. And then on the exhale, see if there's a little bit more space to twist. And one more breath. Beautiful. Back to center. Reach the arms high. And exhale the hands to heart center. And let your eyes close down now. We're going to find 3 breaths. And with each breath, see if you can draw the breath in from the sitting bone. So bring your awareness there. And then as you breathe in, feel your spine get long, your ears and your head rise up, but keep your chin level. Now keep that length in the spine as you exhale. And do that a second time, breathing in deeply all the way from the sitting bones up to the very top of the head. Keep that length as you exhale. And one more time, a deep breath in. And that's it. Let it go. Let's find table pose now. Check in with the knees. Make sure they're right under your hips. And check in with your hands. Make sure the hands are right under the shoulders. Take a deep breath. And then let the breath go. Now cow pose. Drop the belly and lift your chin. See if you can reach your tailbone away from your knees. Then as you exhale, press your hands into the mat. And bring your chin towards your chest. The forehead will come closer to the knees. Press the hands into the mat as you press the middle of the back up towards the sky. Do that again, slowly dropping the belly, lifting the chin. And then exhale into cat pose. This is our second time through. Let's do it 3 more. Dropping the belly, lifting the chin into cow pose. And exhale to cat. And again, inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. I've lost track, but let's do one more. Drop the belly, lift the chin, cow pose. And then exhale to cat. I think that's our 5th one. And then back to a nice neutral spine. From there, reach your right leg back, reach the left hand forward into table extension pose. Spread the fingers on the right hand nice and wide, so that you have a nice base for the pose at the front. Now, if you want, point the toes on that right foot, reach through the left hand, and begin to feel deep engagement in your core. The abdominal muscles, the gluteal muscles, the low back, as well as the arm and the leg muscles in the 2 lifted limbs. Now, bring elbow towards knee, round the spine, bring your chin towards your chest, and then slowly reach back out. Do that a second time. Elbow comes towards knee, spine rounds, and then reach it back out. And a third time, elbow towards knee. Exhale and reach back out. Now bring the left hand down to the mat. Keep pointing through the toes of that right foot. Now bend your right knee, press your hands into the mat, and then lift your chin and lift that right knee up into tiger pose. Take a breath. And now bring the knee towards the chin, rounding the spine. And then bring that right knee down. Drop the belly, lift the chin, cow pose. Exhale into cat. And inhale into cow. And exhale to cat. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to cow pose. And then exhale to cat. And come back to a neutral spine. Now leave your left hand on the mat, reach the right hand forward, reach the left foot back, press through the left heel to begin. Now you can point the toes on the left foot if you want and extend. Reach through that right hand, reach through the toes on the left foot. Excellent job. Now elbow comes towards knee, slowly rounding the spine, chin comes to chest, and then reach out. Do it a second time. Elbow towards knee. And reach it back out. And one more. Elbow towards knee. And reach back out. Now lengthen a little bit more. And then bring the hand down. Thumbs are pointing towards one another. Press both hands into the mat. Then lift your chin. At the same time, bend your knee and point the toes up towards the sky. Now lift the chin a little higher and see if you can lift that left knee a little higher. into Tiger Pose. Let's come out by bringing the knee towards the chin, rounding the spine, and then bring the left knee down so it meets the right knee. This time, walk the hands forward about 4 inches, 5 inches maybe. Now press the hips back towards the heels. This is a dynamic version of cow and cat. Now glide the hips forward and down. Lift the chin, press the heart forward, and then press back towards child's pose. And again, gliding forward, dropping the hips, lifting the chin, and then pressing back towards child's pose. Keep it going, flowing. And then back towards child's pose. Let's do it 2 more times. Gliding forward, dropping the hips, lifting the chin, pressing the heart forward, and then pressing back towards child's pose. 1 more time. Gliding forward. Drop the hips and lift the chin. And then exhale back to child's pose. Now bring your knees apart, and we'll do a real child's pose. Let your head drop down. You can bring your forehead to the mat if that works for you. Keep some traction in the spine, so keep walking the hands forward. 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Good. Now come back to table pose. And then bring your knees back so they're hip width apart. Hands right under the shoulders. Now tuck your toes and lift your hips. And let's find a downward facing dog. Bend the knees quite a bit actually. And I want you to work on lengthening the spine. And if you bend the knees, that's probably going to take most of that stretch out of the hamstring. So I want the length to be in the spine. No, don't worry about trying to lengthen the hamstring muscles. We'll do that later. Now we'll slowly walk the feet forward to the hands. You can take your time to get to a standing forward fold at the front of the mat. Once you're there, let your head drop down and the knees can bend again, regulating that stretch in the hamstrings. Now keep your chin on your chest and round your spine, drawing your navel in as you come up. And then let your arms float up and overhead. And then bring the hands to heart center. Good work. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, fold forward. Come to a half lift now, either with the hands on the mat or at the top of the shins, right below the knees. Either way, lengthen your spine, bring the weight into the front of the feet. And then exhale and fold forward and let your head drop down. Now press into the front of the feet as you rise. You'll feel the abdominal muscles engage. Reach up high, look up, and then exhale the hands, bringing them to heart center. Inhale, up and back. We'll go through that again. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, whichever way you want. And then fold forward, letting the head drop down. Press into the front of the feet and rise. Reach up high and look up. Palms together. And now to heart center. Let's do it 3 more times. Inhale, up and back, back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, the head drops down. Press into the front of the feet and rise. Reach up high and look up. And hands to heart center. 1 more time. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to a half lift. And exhale, let your head drop down. Press into the front of the feet now as you rise. Reach up and look up. And then bring the hands to heart center. Let your eyes close down now and take a breath. Now hinge at the hips and come down halfway. Then bring your hands down to the mat. I'm going to move back a little bit so that my hands are on the mat and not on all these leaves. Now bring your hands so they're about a foot in front of the right foot. And then pick the left foot up. Keep the left leg straight and press back through the left heel. Now lift your upper body up as much as you can and press back through that left heel even more. You can come up on fingertips here if you want. And now swing the left leg off to the left. Keep it straight. This is going to create a lot of engagement in the outside of that left hip. And now bring the left foot down so it meets the right foot. Same thing on the other side. So center the hands in front of the left foot. Pick the right foot up and reach the right heel back. Now lift your upper body up as far as you can as you keep pressing back on that right heel. Now stay grounded in the whole left foot. And bring the right leg out to the side, pressing the right heel away from you. Pick that right foot up as much as you can, and then slowly let the foot come down. Now with the feet about hip width apart, bend your right knee, keep the right hand on the mat, and reach the left hand high into a standing twist. The left leg is straight. And now see if you can bring your weight back so it's evenly distributed between the feet. For me, I brought more weight into that right foot when I started, so I had to bring weight back into the left foot. Lengthen your spine. And now bring the left hand down and reach the right hand high. The left knee bends and the right hand reaches up towards the sky. Keep the spine nice and long. Then remember to equalize the weight in the 2 feet. And just notice where you're feeling a stretch if you are in this pose. Beautiful. Bring that right hand down. Now bring the arms out to a T. Press into the front of the feet and rise. And reach up high. And then bring your hands to heart center. Leave them there as you hinge at the hips. Fold all the way down. Bring the hands to the mat. Leave the right foot forward and step your left foot back into runner's lunge. Then bring the left knee to the mat, reach the arms up and overhead, stretch up high and look up towards the sky. Then bring the hands down, framing that right foot. Tuck the toes as the left knee comes off the mat. And then step the right foot back so it meets the left foot into plank pose. Take another breath in plank. Now lift your hips into downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the left leg up and then step it forward. So the left foot ends up between the hands into runner's lunge, and the right knee comes to the mat. Reach the arms high into a low crescent lunge. Press that left knee forward a little bit more, and then bring your hands down on either side of the left foot. Tuck the toes as the right knee comes off the mat, so you're straightening the right leg, and then bring the weight into the left foot and step the right foot forward into a standing forward fold. Arms come out to a T now. Press into the front of the feet. And slowly rise, really slow. We're going to take about 10 counts to rise. That's 5. Keep going up. Feel that in the hamstrings and the glutes. Reach up high. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Now release your arms out to a T in swan dive. Then come to a half lift. And then as you exhale, step your left foot back, leaving the right foot forward. We've come to runner's lunge. Leave the left hand on the mat. Reach the right hand high into a lunge twist. And then bring your right hand down, framing that forward foot. Bring the left knee to the mat and rise to our second low crescent lunge on this side. Pressing that right knee forward and reaching up through the wrists. You can look up if you like. Notice how that feels. And then bring the arms out to a T. Take a twist to the right. Left elbow comes to right knee. Join the palms. Press the palms together. Lengthen the spine. Keep your weight in that right foot. Let's come out of the pose the way we came in, reaching the right hand back, the left hand forward, the palms face to the right side of the mat, and then back to center. Reach up high. And then as you exhale, bring both hands down to the inside of that right foot. And then come down to the elbows if you can into lizard pose. If you can't come all the way down to the elbows, you can keep the palms on the mat and just bend the elbows, letting your upper body come down. But keep your spine long, so don't round, or round as little as possible, whether your elbows are on the mat or whether it's your palms on the mat. Most of you are going to begin to feel a nice stretch in the right hip, maybe in the back of that right leg and the hamstrings. One more breath. Now walk back up onto the hands, and then bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Untuck the toes as the left knee comes off the mat. Now press back on that left heel, and then step your right foot back into plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And one more. Actually, let's do even one more breath. We'll do 3. Now bring your knees to the mat. The chest and chin are going to come down as well into Cobra Pose. Now I don't come down all the way because if I do, it scratches the mat with the mic. So your chin may come down farther than mine does. One more breath in Cobra Pose. And then release down, and then tuck your toes, push to a plank, and then lift your hips, downward facing dog. One more breath. Now as you inhale, reach your left leg all the way up, point the toes, press both hands into the mat, and press the right heel to the mat. We're doing a lot of stuff in this pose. And now step that left foot forward so it comes between the hands. Then bring your right hand to the mat, reach the left hand high. This is a lunge twist. Now bring the left hand down to the outside of the left foot. Bring the right knee to the mat, untuck the toes, reach the arms up and overhead. Coming to our low crescent lunge, second time on this side. Now the arms come out to a T. Take your twist to the left, bring the right elbow to the left knee, and join the palms together. Keep the spine nice and long. And breath. Follow the breath, and breathe. Follow the breath as it flows in and flows out. Let's come out of the pose the way we came in. Left hand reaches back, right hand reaches forward, and then back to center. Reach up high, then bring both hands down to the inside of that left foot. And then maybe come down to the elbows. We're coming into lizard pose on the second side. Keep the spine nice and long as you can. So to do that, you'll keep reaching the head forward like you're creating a little bit of a stretch in the neck almost. And one more breath. Come back up onto the hands now. And then bring the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Tuck the toes as the right knee comes off the mat. Press back on the right heel. And now step your right foot forward into a standing forward fold. Let your head drop down and take opposite elbows. Bend the knees a little bit and then press the elbows down towards the big toes. Keep pressing into the big toes. The heels are almost floating here. And slowly rise. Keep the spine long. Keep the biceps on either side of the ears. Feel that in the hamstrings and the glutes. And reach up through the elbows. I'm going to turn to face you now. Reach up through the elbows and then bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And now take a bend to the right. Pull that right elbow down. Press the hips to the left. Now keep the spine long as you rise. The core stays engaged. And then over to the other side. Now pull the left elbow down. Reach with the right elbow. And then back to center. Release the arms. And then swan dive. Forward fold. Bring the feet back so they're about hip width apart. Inhale to a half lift. As you exhale, step both feet back into a plank pose. Well, let's find 2 more breaths in plank. And one more. Now leave your left hand on the mat. You can center the hand below the shoulder if you want. Roll over on the pinky toe side of the left foot. Reach the right hand high into a side plank. You can reach that right hand forward if you want to. And you can even pick the right foot up off the mat. Reach the right hand back up and then bring it down, back to plank pose. Pause for a moment as I straighten my mat. I'm going to come back onto the mat because it's a little slippery on all these leaves. Now center your right hand, roll over on the pinky toe side of the right foot, reach the left hand high, side plank on the second side. If you want, reach the left hand forward. Maybe pick that left foot up if you want to. One more breath, wherever you are in the pose. Release the foot if it's up. Release the left hand down. Back to plank pose. 2 more breaths in plank. And one more. Now flow through vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. I'd like you to hold this for 2 more breaths. Press your heart and your navel forward. Feel the back bend. Now bring your knees to the mat and your forehead towards your knees, rounding your spine. And then rise back up to kneeling. I'm going to turn to face you. Now bring the hands to the low back with the fingers pointing down. We're going to do a baby camel pose. Pull the elbows a little bit closer together. It's going to create a lot of expansiveness in the chest. Breathe into that space. Do that again. Now press your hands into your low back or the top of your glutes. Keep pressing the hands forward as much as you can as you lift your chin. Now press the heart up towards the sky. 2 more breaths. Stay with it if you can. And 1 more. Now keep pressing the hands into the low back as you rise. And then let your hips drop to your heels. Knees about hip width apart. Bring your palms to your thighs. Bring the elbows in a little closer to your body. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath lengthen the spine. And 1 more. We're going to do that baby camel pose a second time. I'm going to turn to the other way so you can see it. Bring the hand, or see a side view of me. Bring the hands again to the low back. Your fingers are pointing down, your thumbs are pointing apart from one another, and the pinky fingers are touching if you can. Now see if you can pull your elbows a little closer together. That pulls the shoulder blades together. Press your hands into the low back, and then lift your chin. Press your heart up towards the sky. Keep pressing the hands into the back. Breathe. 1 more breath. Now keep the hands pressing into the back as you rise. And then let your hips drop to your heels. And we'll find our hero pose again with the palms on the thighs. You can let your eyes close down here if you like and just breathe. And 1 more breath. I'm going to come back facing the front of my mat, and presumably you're already there. Bring your hands down at the front of the mat and then tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Now here, bend your knees if you're feeling too much of a stretch in the back of the legs, or straighten the legs a little bit if you want to feel more of a stretch, more sensation in the back of the legs. On an inhale, reach your right leg up and then find 3-legged dog. Open the hips to the right, and you're going to work on stacking the right hip over the left hip. Remember to press that left heel down towards the mat. Level your hips off now, and then step that right foot forward so it comes between the hands. And then leave the left hand on the mat, reach the right hand high into a lunge twist. And then bring the right hand down inside the right foot and reach the left hand high into a revolved lunge twist. I'm going to turn around to the other side of the mat so you can see me. Now spin your left heel to the mat and rise to Warrior Two. It's our very first time in Warrior Two. Let's check in with the alignment in Warrior Two. We haven't done this in a while. Make sure the toes on the left foot are pointing towards the right side of your mat, and the toes on the right foot are pointing straight forward. Maybe bend your right knee a little bit more. Check in with the upper body. Make sure the upper body is more or less perpendicular to your mat. And then bring your gaze forward so you're looking over your extended right hand. Now extended side angle pose. Bring the elbow to the knee. Keep pressing that right knee forward and reach with the left hand, palm facing down. Really stretch out of that left shoulder. And now press into the pinky toe of the left foot. And see if you have a straight line basically from the fingertips on the left hand through the shoulder and the hip and to the pinky toes or pinky toe on the left foot. Rise back to Warrior Two, keeping the right knee bent, and then drop the right hand down, straighten the right leg, actually left hand down, straighten the right leg, and then reach up and back with the right hand. Now lengthen the right side body as you press the ball of the right foot into the mat and reach with the fingertips of that right hand. Now the arms come out to a T. Press into the left foot and reach the right hand forward, bring it down into a triangle pose. And we're going to find 4 breaths in our triangle pose. Whoop. I don't know if you can hear those geese flying over us. 1 more breath. Now bend the right knee and rise, Warrior Two. And settle into the pose. Relax the wrists, relax the fingers on both hands. And now cartwheel your hands down on either side of your right foot and come up onto the ball of the left foot. Right foot steps back to plank pose, flow through a vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, you choose which you prefer. Knees off the mat if you can. Upward facing dog. 1 more breath, feel that deep back bend. And when you're ready, with lots of core engagement, lift your hips into downward facing dog. We're going to stay here 3 breaths now, breathing deeply. Feel the breath flowing the full length, at least of the upper body, from the tailbone through the top of the head. And let's find 1 more breath there. Now on an inhale, reach your left leg high and find 3-legged dog, opening the hips to the left. Try and relax that left foot so it doesn't need to be flexed. And now see if you can lift that left hip a little bit more over the right hip. Now level the hips and then step the left foot forward so it comes between the hands. Right hand stays on the mat, left hand reaches high. Into our lunge twist on our second side. Keep pressing that left knee forward and pressing back through the right heel. And now bring the left hand down. Reach the right hand high, coming into a revolved lunge twist. Spine stays nice and long, still pressing back through that right foot. I'm going to go over to the other side now again so you can see me. Now spin your right heel to the mat and rise, Warrior Two. We've come to the second side in our Warrior Two series. And press that left knee forward just a bit more. Maybe feel lots of engagement in the back of that left leg, as well as the quadriceps. So we're engaging the hip muscles there, as well as the quadricep muscles at the top of the left leg. Now extended side angle, elbow comes to knee. Reach with the right hand. Now I want you to ground into the pinky toe, anchor into the pinky toe of that right foot a bit, and then lengthen. See if you can keep your left knee bent as you rise back to Warrior Two. Now straighten the left leg. Right hand drops down, left hand reaches up and back into a reverse triangle pose. Press into the ball of the left foot. Reach through the fingertips of the left hand. Now the arms come out to a T, palms facing down. Now anchor into the pinky toe of the right foot and reach the left hand forward and then drop it down, triangle pose. And just like we did on the other side, we're going to work on 4 breaths here in our triangle pose. Lots of length in the spine. And 1 more breath. You're doing great. Now bend the left knee and slowly rise to Warrior Two. And then cartwheel your hands down on either side of the left foot, coming up onto the ball of the right foot. We're back to runner's lunge. Now left foot steps back and flow through a vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Again, you have the option. Come into upward facing dog with the knees off the mat if you can. Deep in the back bend. And then slowly begin to tuck your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Lengthen your spine in downward dog, pressing the hands into the mat, reaching the tailbone towards the top of the space behind you if it's a wall or the sky, lengthening the upper body. Now bend your knees and then take a hop so the feet end up eventually between your hands. You can walk if you want. Let your head drop down and bring the weight into the front of the feet. Now bring the hands behind you, interlace your fingers behind your back, straighten your elbows if you can, and just let your head drop down. Maybe lift the knuckles up towards the sky a little more, or maybe forward towards the front of your mat. Now slowly begin to bend the knees as you rise. And then release your hands. Reach them up and overhead and come to chair pose. Bring the weight into the heels. A little bit more. And then straighten the legs. And release your hands. Let them come all the way down. Flip your palms so they face forward. And you're still facing the front of the mat. I've turned to face you so you can see what we're going to do here. Bring your hands back to heart center and press the palms together. Then I want you to bring the weight mostly into the right foot so the left foot begins to lift. Ground into the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel of that right foot, kind of cupping that right foot. And then when you're ready, pick that left foot up, bending the left knee. Maybe lift the left knee a little bit higher. Whoa. And then release the left foot down. Do the same thing on the second side. Ground into that left foot. Press the bottom of the big toe, the bottom of the pinky toe, and the heel into the mat, kind of cupping. So we're creating essentially a crescent shape on the bottom of that left foot. Now pick the right foot up, bending the right knee. Maybe pick that right knee up a little higher if you like. Good work. Let it go. Let's do that again. Press the right foot into the mat, pick the left foot up, bend the left knee, maybe lift it a little bit higher. And then bring that left foot down. Remember to cup that left foot as you pick the right foot up, bending the right knee. And then release the foot. Let's go over to that other side. So keep the right foot on the mat. Now press into that right foot and pick the left knee up. Bring the palm of the left hand to the inside of the left knee. And then open the knee to the side, moving slowly and reaching the right hand out at the same time. This is standing big knee pose. Whoa! I'm a little bit unsteady. And release. Over to the other side. This time keep the left foot down and pick the right knee up. Reach the left hand out and bring the right hand to the inside of that right knee and then open the knee to the right. The thumb's pointing down on that right hand. And see if you can open the knee up just a little bit more. And then release. Back to center. And release the foot down. Let's go back to that right foot. This time bring your hands to heart center. Pick the left foot up. And we're going to do a standing figure 4. So bend the left knee. Bring the left ankle to the right knee. You want to flex the foot probably, that left foot, as you begin to bend at the hip and bend the right knee at the same time. Maybe you can bring your left elbow down to the knee and the right elbow to the instep of that left foot, and maybe bend the right knee just a little bit more. Now breathe. Feel the solidity, feel the sturdiness in the pose, and then slowly rise back up. and release. Good work. Let's go to the second side. So the left foot is down this time. Bring your hands to heart center. That helps us define the center line of the body, helps a little bit with the balance. Now pick the right foot up and bend the right knee and bring that right ankle to the left knee. Then begin to hinge at that left hip and then bend the left knee. Maybe if you can, bring the right elbow to the knee and the left elbow to the instep. Now maybe bend that left knee just a little bit more. Take a couple of breaths and then slowly begin to rise. Release the arms, reach them high, and exhale the hands to heart center. Good work, everybody. Come back facing the front of the mat. Reach your arms high, and then hinge at the hips, fold forward, inhale to a half lift. Right foot stays forward, left foot stays back. I'm going to flip to the other side. Spin the left heel to the mat and rise for our Warrior Two, second series on this side. And then bend that right knee, press the knee forward a little bit more. Now straighten the right leg, drop the left hand down, reach the right hand up and back, pressing into the right foot at the same time. Draw your navel in a little. Now bring the arms out to a T. Press into the left foot, reach the right hand forward. Come into our triangle pose, second time on this side. Now, a little bit more core work here. Lift the upper body up so the right hand comes off the mat, then bend the right knee. Bring the elbow to the knee and reach with the left hand. We came into an extended side angle pose. Here I'm going to do a bind, either a half bind, bringing the left hand behind and maybe connecting that left hand with the right thigh if you can. Open the left shoulder and lift your gaze up. Your option here is a full bind, bringing the right hand under and then connecting the hands behind you. And the secret in this pose is to open the left shoulder up and reach the head forward. So not off to the side like that, but straight forward. Release back to extended side angle pose. And then rise to Warrior Two. Now straighten the right leg, pivot on the right heel so the feet are parallel to one another. Reach the arms high, then bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and straighten the elbows. Breathe deeply into the heart space. You've expanded it quite a bit here. Keep your spine long, hinge at the hips. Come down halfway, then press into the pinky toes and come all the way back up. Keep the fingers interlaced behind you. Do that again, halfway down. Reaching the head forward, reaching the tailbone back, and then slowly come back up. Let's do it one more time. Halfway down. And then come all the way back up. Let go of the hands and reach them high. And then heart center on an exhale. Bring your arms out to a T, and then pivot on the left heel. Bend the left knee. Coming into Warrior Two. Now drop the right hand down, reach the left hand up and back and straighten the left leg into a reverse triangle pose. Stretch out the left side body. Now the arms come out to a T. Press into the right foot and drop the left hand down as we come into triangle pose. Second time on this side. Now see if you can pick that left hand up off the mat and then bend the left knee. Come to extended side angle pose with the elbow on the knee. A lot of core work there. Then look for the bind. So bring that right hand behind you and maybe connect it with the thigh. I'm just going to do the half bind on this side. Maybe look up towards the sky or the leaves on the trees that haven't quite fallen yet. Release from the bind, back to extended side angle, and then bring both hands down on either side of the left foot. Step that left foot back to plank pose. Pause in plank. Take 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Now flow through our final vinyasa of practice, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, upward facing dog. Enjoy the breath flowing in and out. Now bring your knees to the mat. Then let your hips drop to your heels. We're going to come back to hero pose. We've been here a few times before. Let the spine lengthen, so let it get long. And now we're going to do either a third baby camel pose, or if you feel like it, a full camel pose. Come up on the knees and press the hands into the low back if you want, bringing the elbows together just like we did before, opening the heart space. Or maybe you want to move into a full camel pose, bringing the hands to the heels, letting your head drop down. Either way, press the hips forward, and that'll help you create that deep back bend. And now find 3 breaths. 2 more. And 1 more. Beautiful. Slowly rise. And then bring the hands down right in front of the knees. Bring the feet or the knees back so they're about hip-width apart. Let your hips drop to your heels. Now round your spine and bring your forehead down towards your knees. And then slowly begin to come all the way back up. Once you're there, just come to a seat. And once you're seated, reach both legs out in front of you. Bring the hands to the outside of the hips and press your palms into the hips. This is Dandasana, staff pose. Straighten the elbows. Now for most of us, we can't lift our tailbone off the mat here if the palms are on the mat. But it will take a little bit of the pressure off the spine, a little bit of decompression occurring. Now let go of that. Lift your hands up off the mat. And as you exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Seated forward fold. Pashimotanasana is the name of the pose. Now release the hands if you have a hold of something. And slowly rise. Keep the spine long as you come up. And then release the hands down by your side. Now bend the left knee, bring the sole of the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. I'm going to turn the other way. And then hug the knee into your chest. Bring the left hand down behind you. Keep pressing the right heel away and twist and look over your left shoulder. Keep your spine nice and long. Notice there's almost no weight at all on my left hand. Breathe in deeply and let your spine get long as you breathe in, and on the exhale, find the twist. And then come out of the pose, and we're going to go to the other side. So straighten the left leg, bring the sole of the right foot to the outside of the left thigh, press through that left heel, hug the knee in with that left arm, and then twist and look over your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Let the breath help you lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, see if there's a little bit more space for you to twist. And 1 more breath. After all the breath is out on the exhale, release from the pose. Come back to center. Straighten both legs. Reach the arms high. And exhale, fold forward again over the extended legs. Now keep your chin on your chest and round your spine, drawing your navel in as you come up. And then bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat, and roll all the way down to your back. And now, my friends, it's time for Shavasana. Straighten the legs. If you like, flip your palms so they face up. Begin to feel Any tension that remains anywhere in your body, just draining out, just flowing away. Let it all go. Feel the back of the shoulders softening, resting on the mat. Relax your feet and your hands. Relax your glutes and your legs. Relax your shoulders and your arms. Relax your neck. Relax your jaw. Let your breath begin to soften. Let the breath begin to slow. Now bring your awareness to your heart and begin to feel the heart beating. Maybe you feel the heart beating in your chest, or maybe you feel the heart beating somewhere else. Oftentimes, we can feel our heart beating when we pay attention in our mouth, or in the lips if they're touching, or even the fingertips. Focus on a place where you feel your heart beating. And once you've located that, notice the speed that the heart is beating, and notice the rhythm of the heartbeat. Now release your awareness from your heartbeat. And bring your awareness to your navel. Notice how when you breathe in, your navel will rise up. And when you breathe out, notice the sensation of the navel falling, moving closer to the spine. Follow that again, the rising and the falling of the navel with the breath. Breathing in, the navel rises, and breathing out, the navel falls. Now reach your arms up and overhead, and then point the toes and reach the fingertips and the toes as far away from one another as you can. And once you feel like you've lengthened your whole body from the tips of the toes to the tips of the fingers, then draw a deep breath in and fill your whole body with breath. Just inflate it as much as you can. Keep breathing in. And then once you're completely full, open your mouth wide and exhale, letting all the breath go. Let's do that one more time. A deep breath in, reaching from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. Fill the whole body with breath. Keep breathing in if you can. And now open your mouth wide and let it go. Now bend your knees and roll to your side. You can cradle your head in your arm if you like. You can keep your eyes gently closed. And when you're ready, roll to your side. Again with the eyes still gently closed. And once you're seated, bring your hands to heart center and press the palms gently together. Join me now, if you like, in offering loving kindness. May you be happy and well and safe, and may you be peaceful and at ease. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.